Ladies and gentlemen, we had a WWE pay-per-view today. I know that it has been a while since the pay-per-view has gone off the air and I have yet to put a review together. That's because I've really wanted to get my thoughts together and have really wanted to process things. You guys are going to see 4 images during the review. I'm going to try to make the review about 20 minutes. If I cover everything before then, it'll just be shorter. But Super Showdown today, to me, wasn't the best Saudi show that they put on. I think it was a little bit average. My girlfriend Jessica that made picks with me yesterday, she's going to be here with me helping review a little bit of the show. She's doing a couple things here and there, but she'll be in here during the review. I'm going to talk briefly real quick. The kickoff show was the OC against the Viking Raiders. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to this match. I picked the OC to win, which they did. I know OC won with the Magic Killer on Ivar, I believe. I'll give the match a star and a quarter. It looked like it was pretty good from the times that I saw. But I got to be honest, I really wasn't paying attention to it. But either. The main show, we have the first match of the night was the two-weight gauntlet match, which I was surprised about. R-Truth, I do have to give him props, though. He was the man in this gauntlet match, beating 3 men. He started out the match with Bobby Lashley, beat him. But real quick, Lana. Why would Lana take a trip out to Saudi Arabia just to be on the stage, just to leave? She was literally there 20 seconds and left. That was no point in her being there, but okay. Then he beat Andrade. Then he beat Eric Rowan by DQ. Then AJ Styles came out and beat R-Truth. And I remember, if y'all remember my predictions video, I said AJ Styles was going to win. I thought it was going to come down to him and Mysterio. AJ was going to beat Mysterio. And then him and the OC were going to attack Mysterio. And Undertaker was going to come out. I was half right. Because the OC did attack Mysterio. And the Undertaker did come out, as you can see from the image on your screen. And the Undertaker ended up beating AJ Styles for the two-weight gauntlet match. So it was a pick that I'm glad I got wrong, but Undertaker won the gauntlet match.
That was
and
great.
Was not expected to be out there, which was pretty cool. So it's going to be him and AJ Styles at WrestleMania, more than likely, which is what it looks like it's planning to. Interesting idea, though, is that Undertaker never did get the trophy, so I guess they're just going to FedEx it to him. I don't know how they're going to go about doing it, but regardless, it was pretty cool, to see Undertaker. He looked good. His entrance was a whole lot longer than the actual match, though. I just hate it because it was one choke slam and it beat AJ. It should have at least been a tombstone or something else. But one move beats AJ. Come on, man, really? With as much as AJ has been doing. But yeah, I was very surprised though that R-Truth was the guy that got 3 eliminations in this match. I thought it was going to be AJ Styles that was going to be dominating, but it ended up being R-Truth. So I thought it was pretty goofy though how they did it, where he kind of got headbutted by Andrade and kind of just laid back on Andrade and happened to win. So I don't know, but yeah, so that happened. Then we get to what I thought was one of the best matches of the night. New Day took on Miz and Morrison, and these 4 guys went out there and did the absolute best that I thought that they could do. Great match all around. Kofi hit an SOS early on in the match, and it looked like Morrison was going to be taken away. Miz and Morrison were capitalizing on Big E, trying to stop him from getting to Kofi. Big E was not able to get to Kofi. Then they were over there, they couldn't get Kofi to Big E. Miz couldn't get to Morrison. Finish of the match comes when Miz has Kofi there, and Morrison, with the referee distracted, hits Kofi in the ribs. With a chair. Miz rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. We have new SmackDown Tag Team Champs. I was very, very surprised because I picked New Day to win this match, and I really did think the New Day was gonna win this match, but Miz and Morrison won.
I'm so mad.
And Miz and Morrison are the new Tag Team Champs.
They of course, only won because of hitting Kofi with a chair.
Yeah.
They had not gotten away with hitting Kofi with a chair because the ref was distracted. I don't think they would have won.
I think that that's a very, very good point. I think that...
Now, I may be wrong, but that's just my view on that.
Yep. Anyway, Then we get to Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo.
Won't really watch it.
Another good match, but like I said, I was kind of a little bit zoned in and out doing a bunch of different things. I was able to go and see it though, so I saw a little bit of it. Star ratings are going to be down in the description when you see this though. Hey, it was what it was. I'm trying to cover everything, so I have a lot of time to talk about the main event because there's a lot of shit I want to cover in the main event because I'm a little upset, but it is what it is. We get to the Raw Tag Team Champions, which was another great match. Rollins and Murphy took on the Street Profits. Looked like for a second, a little bit of time there that the Street Profits were going to win the tag titles. Street Profits had a great showing in this match. I think the Street Profits did very, very good in this match, and I would not be surprised if they get another title match down the road and actually beat Rollins and Murphy, because they came close today to beating Rollins and Murphy for the tag titles. They could not do it, but the two tag matches I think were the two best matches of the night. I thought those were the two best matches. You had something you wanted to say?
Now, I'm okay with Seth and Murphy winning. That's not a problem.
Okay.
But I think the Street Profits could have it when I think it was Montez Ford. Is that his
Yes.
name? He had hit Seth Rollins with some move. I don't even remember what it was.
That was a top rope move, and Buddy Murphy came in and grabbed his feet.
But he almost had him pinned.
The finish of the match came with this is Rollins was on the outside, and he curb stomped Dawkins behind the referee's back, and then Murphy pinned Dawkins 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. The Messiah Maniacs, as I like to call them, retained the titles. So Rollins and Murphy kept the titles. Next up, we had Mansoor, who is now the Undertaker of Saudi Arabia. He's undefeated, 3-0 in Saudi Arabia. I'd love to see this guy wrestle on NXT or wrestle somewhere else. You know, that match he had with Cesaro was good last year. This match with Dolph was a little bit average, but I kind of knew Mansoor was going to win in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's pretty common. He's going to win. He's the guy that's there. Anyway, I mean, it was what it was. You know, another average match to me. A lot of these matches, like I said, were average. There were some good matches, but I'm rating it as the overall show. You know, the overall show had some ups, had some downs, which, you know, I'll tell you guys about the ups and downs when I get there. Now I'm going to talk about the last 4 matches on the show. As y'all can see by the picture on the screen, you see Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. That's because the next matchup was the WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Ricochet. And let me be completely honest with you. There was no chance in hell. I might have sounded like Vince McMahon there, but there was no chance in hell that Ricochet was winning this match. With the build that you have already established between Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, there was no way Ricochet was winning this. And I'm actually surprised he lasted a minute and a half. I thought it was going to be like a Kofi match where he got like one F5. Literally, it was 3 suplexes.
I thought it was 4.
It was 3.
It
was 3 suplexes and an F5. Ricochet lost in a minute and a half.
He hit him with that F5 and Ricochet was done.
Ricochet literally could not get any offense going, which I think was the right call. And I loved how they were kind of building it up where they said, is there one man that could stop Brock? And Ricochet said, I am the one and only. But my girlfriend thought there was something funny during the kickoff show where they said that Brock Lesnar and Ricochet would be ricocheting off the ring.
Yeah,
She thought it was
David
David Otunga who said Ricochet would.
He was like, Ricochet is going to be ricocheting all around that ring.
Yeah,
like,
she thought that was really funny, and it did sound, you know.
It was kind of like that stupid funny.
Yeah, it was kind of a play on words type thing. But you know, Brock and Ricochet, you know, I mean, it's realistically speaking, I do see Drew McIntyre beating Brock at Mania. I do. I think Drew is the guy. And the guy that I would honestly love to see Drew face for the title after Mania is Orton. I mean, I love to see a heel as Orton. Orton's the bad guy. Drew would be the good guy. Have those two guys fight one another. I don't know if you'd have Orton beat Edge or Edge would beat Orton. I don't know how that's going to go. But anyway, as you're going to see by the next match on the screen, and I did not mean for it to be like this. It just happened to be that the next match that you're going to see is the match that has happened for the 546,000th time. It is Roman Reigns versus King Corbin.
And it's still caged.
I hope we are at the end of this feud because Roman Reigns beat King Corbin. It was a decent match, not the best match that I've seen from these two guys. I thought their Falls Count Anywhere match at the Rumble was a whole lot better.
Yeah.
But, Roman Reigns got the win as I expected.
I do have to say, Roman Reigns it was a Superman punch with the
with the chain. Yeah, that wasn't. I will admit that was a nice spot at the end. Roman Reigns had the chain wrapped around it, and he did a Superman punch, and that's how he ended up beating Corbin. Hopefully these guys don't end up being in the Elimination Chamber, but I have a good feeling now. I've been told that it's probably going to be Goldberg against Reigns at Mania, meaning if that happens, Roman Reigns might win the Elimination Chamber, but Roman has not been announced yet, so I don't know what they're going to do. Cena is going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night.
I'm super excited.
Which will get some clarity on that, what all is going to happen there. We'll definitely want to see what Cena's announcement's going to be. But yeah, Roman beat Corbin. Like I said, it was really kind of a flat match to me. Guys went about 13 and a half minutes. Not really anything of note. Roman brought out the steel chain and was trying to do a whole bunch of different things and really just couldn't get anything going. Bayley, Naomi. First time ever. Women's championship match in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And they were kind of building to this, and I don't know if these two are gonna wrestle again. Me personally, what I want to see at WrestleMania is Bayley against Sasha Banks, because they've had so much history with one another. They've wrestled so many great matches on NXT takeovers. They were the first ever women's tag team champions. They're like the friends and the enemies, and I just want to see Sasha and Bayley wrestle on the biggest stage, because if you really think about it, Sasha has not had a WrestleMania moment. So I would love to see Sasha beat Bayley at WrestleMania and win the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think that is the best thing that they could do as far as story-wise. I think that is what they should do. I think that is what they should ultimately tell as far as what is going to happen in this match. Anyway, Bayley took on Naomi in a pretty alright women's match. It was solid. Bayley ended up winning. I think she did something with the Bayley to belly, and then did something with like a t-shirt.
She bended Naomi's feet up and put them in her t-shirt.
That's right. Yeah. So it was kind of weird how they did it. Like, she took her shirt.
It got her the win.
And it got her the win, and she took the shirt.
But I knew she was gonna win anyway.
Like I said, I picked Bayley to win this match. And I thought that it was, it was going to be something, interesting. I thought that she was actually going to win with the Bayley to belly, but ended up not winning. Okay, guys, so now I have saved some time to talk about the match that has been causing everybody controversy. Goldberg took on the Fiend for the Universal title. I picked the Fiend to win. Now, this part, you might have to excuse some language that might be said. I'm going to try not to use any negative language towards this. But Goldberg, yes, Goldberg, a man that has not been WWE Universal Champion in 3 years, comes back and beats the Fiend with 4 moves is absolute bullshit. You could have easily had Goldberg use the Fiend's weakness, or even had the Fiend win. I wouldn't have cared if the Fiend would have beat Goldberg and would have lost to John Cena at WrestleMania. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared if he'd have lost to Roman at Mania. But the Fiend, I don't know what his weakness is now, because what are you going to say? His weakness is part-timers, the guys that only show up then? What are you going to say? It's the jackhammer? It's what? I mean, he literally took, it was literally a mandible claw, 3 spears, and a jackhammer, and the Fiend was literally out. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, and I don't use the F word on this channel. I don't. But I was so freaking pissed off that Goldberg A man that has not been champion in 3 years says that he could just all of a sudden come up here and become Universal Champ. And my gripe is not about Goldberg winning. It's the fashion that he won and the guy who ended up losing. You've had The Fiend, a man that the WWE has invested a year and a half worth of story in, almost, building The Fiend up to be this unstoppable monster that Seth Rollins couldn't beat, Finn Balor couldn't beat, Daniel Bryan couldn't beat. You had all of these men that The Fiend had stepped over, and all of these men that he could not beat, and it's probably looking like he's probably going to face Cena at WrestleMania. It's looking like The Fiend might face John Cena. I don't know what the deal is going to be there, but you had all of these men that The Fiend put in front of you. And the man that you have The Fiend lose to is fucking Goldberg. Of all people, Goldberg is an absolute legend. He did not need the Universal title. He could have easily come and beat up somebody like Dolph Ziggler. Could have come up and easily beat somebody like Bobby Roode. Could have beat up King Corbin. He could have come in and could have destroyed anybody. My thing about this is WWE recently banned a rule when they talked about getting rematches. If that's the case, Kevin Owens lost to Goldberg 22 seconds at Fastlane in 2017. Did Kevin Owens ever get his rematch? No, he did not. Roman Reigns got out with leukemia, all right? Came back. He never got a rematch for the Universal title, which he's probably going to end up getting it at WrestleMania, which, hey, he would have got his rematch. But what I'm saying is this. Goldberg can just show up anytime he wants and get whatever match he wants. Are you kidding me? How does that work? I don't understand the logic in that and why you think it is okay. My girlfriend Jessica might have liked it. I was in absolute shock. She can tell you, I was in shock looking at the TV because The Fiend lost in 4 moves. I didn't expect that. Explain this to me. How does 3 spears and a jackhammer beat him, but yet Seth Rollins hits him with 11 curb stomps and objects to the face, and that does not beat The Fiend? Explain that to me. So you're trying to tell me that Seth Rollins is weak as well? You're trying to tell me that Seth Rollins' stomps and the stuff that he did to the face, to The Fiend, did not beat him? But Goldberg can do 3 spears and a jackhammer? Get the hell out of here with that. I'm not trying to hear that. And that to me really brought this show down. This show was good as it was on that borderline of average and decent and good, but it show really brought it down. It made the show go from like maybe a 5.5 to just a 4 to me, and me rating it a 4 out of 10 is, I think, is generous to me because the last match was a dud. There's no point in me even giving it a rating. Even I gave Ricochet and Brock, a half a star. What is your thoughts on this match, babe?
Which match?
The Fiend and Goldberg.
I was in absolute shock. Like, nobody's beat The Fiend.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg comes out here. Was it 4 moves?
It was 3 spears and a jackhammer, but The Fiend did get some offense. If you remember,
mandible claw twice.
He hit that first spear on The Fiend, and Goldberg looked like he was in absolute shock. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, good. They're going to have Goldberg hit some offensive moves. Fiend's going to beat him. But The Fiend hit 2 mandible claws, and then Goldberg was able to hit 2 more spears and a jackhammer. And that to me is something that, like I said, The Fiend was bound to lose. But what you could have done is you could have built up a star. You could have built a guy up like an Aleister Black or somebody else that was up and coming. And then you could have had them face The Fiend and then beat The Fiend, and it would have meant so much more because you would have thought, hey, The Fiend is this unbeatable monster that cannot be beat. And then all of a sudden, he loses. Well, guys, you want to know what I thought about the overall show? I'm going to give the overall show 4 belly slaps out of 10. Belly slaps. below average show to me. Was not nearly as good as the Royal Rumble. It's probably not going to be as good as Elimination Chamber. But guys, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you guys enjoyed my my overall review on the show. Anyway, guys, peace. Your boy Killer Cam is out. Later.